Well, we can agree to disagree, but this chapter of Black Clover, man oh man, so much despair, and yet at the same time, so much action. So many things are answered, and yet nothing at all. What am I actually trying to say? Well, it's confusing, but the Angry Enemy fan here to bring you this chapter. And, well, there are just some parts of here I do not really get. First of all, it turns out that unfortunately Vetto and Fana are not out of the game just yet, because Sally somehow gathered parts of their DNA and managed to clone them, although they could only be cloned into 15-year-old bodies, and they have vaguely remembered what happened before. So, and I mean, it's pretty ironic to the fact that they have to rely on Sally in order to, well, reclone that thing. And then saying it's a shame she died. I mean, you elves are so hypocritical. You may hate humanity, granted, yes, but without humanity, you wouldn't have this kind of power. You have to realize that. Yes, it's just so ironic of it all. Turns out also one other reason why Fana was so drowning in despair was not just because of her hatred, but also because she overused the evil eye so much that she became a little overdose about it. But apparently, but here's what's strange about Raya. He said something about so there's much more evil in your heart now. And Fana realizes that Salamanda is gone because of her death, but she is still ready to fight. And only after Vetto finally says to Fana that she needs to get dressed, because, well, as we all know, both of them are naked, but Fana is a different story of it all. As Raya says, a sexual harassment line. Elsewhere, the other elves gather, now dressed a little bit more on how they were as ancient before, as the other elves gather up for what is considered the final part. And actually it turns out that, you know, the stone which plays the magic stone, well, with the magic stones on, the elves have actually recreated a pattern of those stones. And apparently the a chosen few of the elves are people called the Great Elven Wayfinder, the followers of Sephira, because here is where stories really take a very what the H is going on. Turns out that the elves long ago worshipped a god. We do not know who this god is, but if we're going for the word that we're seeing here, the followers of Sephira. Is it possible that this god was named Sephira? I mean, this is the first time we have actually gotten a mention of a god in the Black Clover universe. We have been mentioned of we have seen spirits, and then we've been mentioned of demons. It's still not explained the connection between the demons and the elves. Before his channel was cancelled or terminated, Pale Ranger was one of the best Black Clover theorists out there, but his channel was terminated for some very stupid reason. He was one of the best Black Clover theorists ever. Why would he be terminated? But my point is, he once guessed that maybe when the elves fall into despair, they tend to do that. And I have to say, I agree a little bit with that. It's possible that the huge amount of mana they have can corrupt their minds, so when they fall into despair, it corrupts them to the point where it becomes evil. So of course, Patri is happy to see Lich, but Lich is still very unrepensive. And here is also revealed another thing of it all. You all remember that it's been very strange that Golden Dawn seems to have had every single one except Mimosa to be an elf. However, judging from Patri's dialogue here, that was intentional. Well, granted, however, it would have been strange if it wasn't intentional. But it once again just shows how much low he has to go in order to manipulate this system. He He influenced William's actions, or maybe likely just told William to take these people, because and William trusted Patri because of that all. It was very likely he tried to recruit every single reincarnated elf into the Golden Dawn, but couldn't because of, well, in the end, the people that he took into Golden Dawn when they were humans still had that arrogance he always disliked. So Juno was always meant to be an elf. Because Raya reveals that he kept in his personality, but he sent someone to greet him, so everything is fine. Whoever that one someone is, I have no freaking idea. Because once again, why wasn't Juno immediately turned into a hateful elf? There's so many theories out there. The biggest theories right now is that Juno just simply has that strong willpower. And if you ask me, Juno has a very static personality. He practically has no personality at all, because, well, he's influenced by Asta's action. So him having a strong willpower, I find that kind of strange, but I guess it's kind of fitting. The other theory is that it's possible that it was Lich and Teta's unborn child, and therefore it didn't have a personality. So therefore that is Juno's personality. Elsewhere on Twitter, someone once told me that maybe, yes, maybe it's that mysterious elf we saw in the table, the one with his eyes over his bangs. Still doesn't answer though why he hasn't been awakened, because everyone was awakened except the one inside Juno. There's gotta be a reason. Either way, but then things takes a very strange turn as the elves suddenly utilize the magic circle in their bodies to summon forth something else behind the castle. Apparently something they call opening the gates of hell, as the elf that is attacking Mimosa smugly reveals the fact that long ago the elves and the humans formed a pact for the humans to safeguard a magical space that connects this world and that, a kingdom called the Kingdom of Shadows. And apparently that is hell, or something. And only the 10 elves, the followers of Sephira, who had received the divine revelation from their god, are able to open this place. It's these 10 elves that are the same elves that were in the dinner table. The Gosh elf, the Little elf, the Fana elf, the Veto elf, the Raya elf. And here's one thing more. We don't see her, but we see one with a witch hat, very reminiscing of that always sleeping captain of the Pink, you know. It's very likely she was also an elf. She was always asleep, so we never saw her personality anyway. But yeah, they all believe that this is it. And the elf does reveal that once the magic stone of the last is in the pedestal in the castle, the reincarnation will complete and the original owners will be sent to hell in exchange, basically killing them off for good. That cannot be allowed to happen. But the other elves sense the stone, saying that they won't allow anyone to interrupt the seraph. As the humans' magic knight starts to get a little bit more nervous, suddenly, finally, the cavalry that we have all been waiting for arrives, and boy does they arrive, with a powerful punch that seemed to knock back almost all the elves that descended. Very unlikely it defeated them. However, they are finally here. Black Bulls are finally here, as Patrick can only look with a look of pure anger on the scene. The final battle starts now. With that, the Black Bull are finally here. Here is where we stopped. And now it truly becomes a battle of despair or hope. It's revealed that if these 10 followers of Seraph really does open that gate and with the final magic stone, which is revealed to be on Juno's neck, who for some reason is an elf that has not an elf personality. If they get that magic stone, it is checkmate. It is completely checkmate. But the fact that it's a Kingdom of Shadows long ago, there is just so many things that does not make sense here to me. They hate humans. Yes, I get that. The humans kill them, apparently. Then what was that story about a pact? Is it once again throwing even the elves into question? Because as I said before, right now the elves are the sympathetic people. But I don't like that. I don't want the elves to be the sympathetic people. I want neither the humans nor the elves to be the sympathetic people because I want to believe they have all made their mistakes. Is it very possible that this gate of hell is one of those mistakes? I don't know. But it's many things are revealed, especially that Patri really did form the Golden Dawn with the intention of having every single elf right there. And these 10 followers of Seraph, is it very possible that the Serapha, or whatever its name, is the god they're talking about? And who is this god? Is it possible that it was the god that killed them? Nah, that's too far-fetched. I mean, it's the first time we ever heard about one. There is just so many things that does not make sense right now. And that's a little bit frustrating. But I cannot deny that when it comes to awesomeness, Black Clover is not slowing down right now. With Black Clover, the Black Bulls are finally here. So now, the true battle begins. Give me your thoughts if you have any.